But that's a scary drive, and I'm not that good at driving.
Yeah.
Then you have to clean up.
Yeah. Yeah. I go to college in Maine, so it's opposite coast from through my school. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What school is in Maine?
Colby College.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's like 50 people.
Yeah.
But like it basically, yeah.
That's great. I went to a school that was maybe 2,400 people in Pennsylvania.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize it was that small.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you like it that small?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was like the best.
What was
You know everyone.
Dickinson College.
I think I've heard of it.
It's like near Harrisburg.
Yeah. I feel like all the small liberal arts schools are
Totally.
Yeah.
Like same conferences and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the other small ones.
Yeah, but I love it a lot too. It's like fun. Like I know all my professors.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
There are more people than I could work.
No,
Yeah.
I know. It's so funny the differences in schools.
Like if I had gone to school in California, I would have been like 45,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, Maine's cool. So it's nice to be in DC where it's
Get ready. It's gonna get like 20 degrees hotter and a lot more humid.
really.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
glad I'm not gonna.
Oh, you haven't been here in the summer. That's why I'm saying take your time when you're walking over from O'Neill.
Oh my god.
You just, you know.
Wait, do you work at O'Neill?
Yeah, I do 2 part-time, so I'm from until 1 p.m. I'm in O'Neill, and then I can walk over at 4 to 1
She's
No
doing the
way.
whole gamut. She's doing committee and leadership.
Oh, what committee?
Is it oversight?
oversight.
Cool. I used to work at O'Neill. I worked for the Democratic Women's Caucus.
Oh,
We were all the
cool.
way out there.
That
Yeah.
sounds really fun.
It was awesome. You should reach out to them. They're in your building.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Oversight's fun too. I started today, so
Cool.
it's just a lot of like news clips and things.
Wow.
Is there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have like 3 different offices. Because there's O'Neill, vice chair, and personal
Yeah.
for Ted.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of coffees you can
A
have.
lot of copies.
Yeah. No, I didn't even think about that. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I was more worried about the walking.
Yeah.
It was rough today, but I
You
guess
gotta
it'll
get your
get
steps
worse.
So we were just talking about that because a lot of the office is the Panera Sip Club member, which is like, it's $5 and soon to be $15 a month for unlimited drinks.
I see.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
But I'm like, I love it because I have an excuse like twice a day to
Yeah.
go all the way to Canada and then come all the way back, and it's like
Is it
helping my
Panera?
steps. Yeah,
You're
Yeah.
lying. I
you
didn't
should
know
check it
that.
out.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right.
Great.
Order in advance though, if you want to get food from there, because
Okay.
it's pretty busy.
There's a Jimmy John's in the basement of Wrigley too.
Yes.
Oh, I've been there before. I didn't know about the Panera though. How do you get to the
Do you know?
You just go.
I'm like,
question.
it's the
Have
first
you
floor.
been to Cannon at all?
Yeah, I've been there to pick up sweet pea, so it's as far as I've gone.
You know how there's like
The-
like a rotunda circle in the middle?
Yeah.
Just go to the first floor of that rotunda, and if you walk in a circle, eventually you'll see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'll try that.
The Panera used to be like literally right next to my old office.
Hmm.
So
If you're a
You
frequent
hustle around
flyer.
a lot.
That's nice. There's so much going on here. It's so fun.
Yes, yeah. Especially today. It's a busy day.
there used to be a saying that if you can't find a staffer, they're at the
If you can't find our office.
Can you imagine? All food resources and got the sick thing? or-
No, we all have it individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
like
wow.
notice that it's $5 a month for a certain amount of time. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Like genuinely half the office, maybe more.
Just started seeing each other with Erica's.
Well, now it's like, I'm like, we're taking it too far. Because if you go to Sip Club without telling the other sippers in the office, you get like shamed.
Yeah, you're
See,
I'm like, well, I was just in Longworth, like thought I would pop over. No,
So the
shame.
entire office just goes to it.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome.
so Yanni by herself. Watch the Lord.
No, once we picked up Evelyn, like,
This is true, by the way.
everyone's welcome to Sip Club.
Yeah.
The goal is like one day Mark just like comes out of his office and it's a ghost town.
Oh my gosh.
He has to answer the front door.
We roll the phones for 15 minutes.
He's like, where are you guys?
That's when we get
It's very
banned from
quiet. There's
Sip
no
Club.
phone calls coming in. Yeah.
That's when Mark tells us we have to disband
Yeah,
the club.
that was
Or do
honestly,
shifts.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
What a fun office. That's fun.
It is.
It's a good time. Yeah, you should definitely come by and
For
say
sure.
hello
You're
whenever
welcome
you're
to
here.
Yeah, they're the fun ones. When James and I are out or out and about, go be like, screw this place. I'm gonna go to this place.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a cafeteria in Ford if you get desperate, but it's not that good.
Okay.
I recommend Potbelly's.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like a block.
it's right. Do you like Federal Center Southwest Metro stop?
Yeah.
It's right there. It's like right next to the Starbucks.
Okay.
There's also McDonald's if you want to walk a little bit further.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jackie would go to the pop up, cause her office is right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. How is she?
She's great.
Good.
Doing good.
Good.
Yeah, staff from the big boss that's in, the executive, the senior VP of Disney right now.
Wow.
It's good. Like she was like telling me, she was like, yeah, like, oh well, the guy that became the new like president of Disney and stuff, she staffed him before. So like,
That's
she's
crazy.
like, I guess like they made a mention of like the DCGR team. She's like, oh yeah, Jackie, like yeah, I remember.
Aw.
And she was like, oh shit. She's like, all I did was like staff the guy like all day. Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. They have really nice balconies. Like, I
Oh.
wanted a TED event to be there, like one of his campaign events, but
Yeah.
it didn't work out. So I was like, yeah,
Maybe
it's
next time.
next time. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really nice when they do receptions.
And we're entering balcony season.
We are.
It's time to be
I will
outside.
keep you posted. Last time,
Mhm.
I don't think you were with the office yet, but they did a like a reception for Halloween, and they brought out like the technicians that like in the movies, you know, the little droids walk around. So they literally just you just saw little robots walk
Oh
around.
my gosh.
So cool.
Yeah.
So she works for Disney.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Does she get benefits? Like,
She
do you
does. Yeah.
What?
Favorite aunt and
I'm
uncle
like,
here.
sorry
You get
guys,
free
I'm
tickets.
leaving.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Every time we go back to LA, I'm like, my nieces and nephews will be like, so we're going to Disneyland.
Aw.
It's like, yeah, we're going.
Yeah.
I love Disneyland. It's so fun. And like my parents are sick of me. All the time. Oh my gosh.
I definitely am like a Disneyland supremacist. I don't think Disney World is as good.
I've never
That's
been,
my hot
but I
take.
just-
That's fine.
I love the EP.
We do. It's pretty easy.
Mhm.
You're good for now.
Well, Disneyland's weird because it's like
Hyper concentrated.
yes, and it's
Yeah.
not that much more. Like that's the thing is I'm lazy. Like I would want to do the world situation where you have to park all a bunch and like do like little. The Disneyland they do a good job of like easy go. So close.
I just like how because there's like, as you were saying, there's not as much like land. It's like every step you take, there's like Disney magic. Whereas like Disney World, it's like, oh, like normal trees. Because there's like 5 parks.
I only went to Disney World when we ran the marathon. So like that. But
I
that was
wanted
fun.
to do that so
You
badly.
should do it.
I really, really want to. I think I have to wait a year though, because the tickets are a little pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like you would have to do it next year to run the following.
Yes.
Yeah. So like when we did it, like so I ran like half marathons and stuff. The only marathon I would do is Disney
Uh-huh.
because it's actually entertaining. Like
Right.
they hired local bands to play at like different mile markers. They filled up like giant screens with movies
Oh
and
my-
stuff like that
That's
playing.
so
They brought out
cool.
characters
Oh,
for
that's
photos.
so cool.
So it's like okay, like the 26.2 is gonna suck. So
Yeah.
you're just like oh like there's Lilo and Stitch. Oh, there's this. Like,
I think, yeah, if I ever run a marathon, it will be the Disney Marathon. I would do the half though, easy, like in a second.
yeah. And then go to the park.
Right. Sweaty and disgusting.
Everyone did it. We like
Wow.
we were with a group of friends that ran it. And so after that, well we went and showered and stuff. And then we're like, oh, we gotta go to the park over here and
Yeah.
stuff. So we like went and everybody's wearing their bells. So we're
Aw.
kind of kids too.
Yeah, that's really cute. They have you heard of the like Nike After Dark races? They're nighttime halves. It's cool. It's like yeah. Half marathons. But there's one in LA that goes through our district. The whole thing is like Redondo Hermosa Manhattan. And I've tried to sign up, it's in October, and they've been sold out for months. I was like, I just found out about this yesterday. Didn't even get a shot.
That's a nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm bounced back and forth too. Grew up in North County, and then moved down to when we moved to North Carolina.
That's cool. I've never done it. Oh, really? I didn't know you were a rescue diver. That's so cool. Where did you do them in like
Yeah, so right off the Kona and like the Channel Islands and stuff like that. That's where I first started. And then you do like cause you kick off.
But like to hear,
Mexico, Hawaii.
I get to
Oh,
say
that's so cool.
just
Have you ever done like a
on the
dive
outskirts,
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
But,
that's
like,
good. Where
all of them.
Yeah, like it looked like
you're
Antarctica.
not,
Cause like, see, like, cause like it's like a
that all of our
Yeah.
dreams
like an
make
old Because she's like, all you're gonna do is die, and then like,
Right.
but yeah, because we literally dive from like 9 to 2
So now get it.
p.m. We
Oh
come
my
back
God.
to the shore, and like we just like eat, drink, and then go back to school.
Yeah, I graduated.
I think I could do 1 day of that. Like I'd be so exhausted. I'd be like,
I just felt something where I go to school.
that's really cool. What's been your favorite spot?
We're really good.
But
That's
Yeah.
hard.
Really?
Um,
What do you think about Puno? People know Puno.
And so those are the second
I pass through New Hampshire occasionally because I go to Maine every year.
Oh, really?
And so
that's where I went to.
my grandparents bought a lake house up
So
there.
it's really funny because you're on this cliff, and it's just
About an hour.
so it's really nice.
It's like
Yeah.
Finding
It's a-
Nemo. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you're just looking out at the.
Yeah.
It's a tiny town. It's amazing.
Well,
Yeah.
and the cool part was
Yeah,
one
we-
time we did that, and like
My family's been up there since like the
and like
late
we
60s.
were like, oh hey, look at that shark, and then we turned back, it was like 20 feet. He just like he circled us, but again, he's just like, what is this?
Yeah, DC it's like 10
Yeah.
Making
like
so he's just like one around us.
16 depending on the.
It's like humbling. You're like,
Yeah.
It's like 95 most of the way up. Depending on like occasionally traffic will reroute us around.
they want to eat fish.
For the most part, 95.
They're, to us, we're just
How
and they
far?
eat snorkelers, so
An hour.
Okay, so I would not have seen signs, but
Watch like
You can't,
we do like a movie
yeah,
night once a week, but it's always really terrible shark attack movies.
95.
I don't know, like we just got on a kick and like we haven't left, like we watched all the Sharknadoes, like we just watched, there was like it's like Shark in the Seine or something, like the river Seine, I'm saying that wrong, in Paris.
oh yes,
The Seine,
yes,
is that what you say?
yeah.
Seine? Close.
Yeah.
Hilarious movie.
Yeah.
Recommend to everyone.
Yeah.
Movie where
It's
there's
like
a bunch
probably
of
like if I like when I talk
No,
about
that'll be next on
Yeah.
our list.
something from
Yeah. Oh my god, the one where like it's like a shark cage and they get stuck and it like goes all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it sounds right to me. I don't know. Yeah. Well, no, that makes I'm not full of sharks anymore. Like I've done it to myself.
yeah.
It is.
Yes.
I understand that on like an intellectual level, but like in my heart,
No, no.
I don't understand.
Again,
Yeah, this is true.
Sophie magic, right? It gets
Yeah.
you scared. Also, somebody has this mask where you
I
I
struggle with
hate that. I know everyone's
back
just like
here,
signals, but
because
yeah.
I'll say like, oh yeah, I'm from Wilmington.
What's the signal for shark?
This is where I play.
Oh, it's that.
I'm
Well,
saying
makes
shorthand.
sense.
Yeah.
That's so
But
cool.
everyone here
I've
immediately
wanted to get my scuba certification.
Yeah.
I was actually I planned to do it this summer going into college because I had a job lined up working on Catalina.
Yeah, if you
And
have
like
both,
summer
you know which one.
Really?
Yeah, I was just like I was teaching kids about the
I do not care about
and then it was COVID.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
But everyone
And then I
seems
was
to say
online
like,
for
oh,
a
I'm
year.
from Wilmington, and then I catch myself and say North Carolina.
One day though. One day. If I move back to California. It's only 3 days.
It's called Princess. Yeah. Because they
I'm,
like
I'm with you on that. We've got a
Great.
hear on you. They do all this stuff. They
member of our
like,
offices.
and those guys that get contracted with like cruise ships are
Fully agree. It doesn't
like
actually.
they know how to like read that.
Give it to me.
They know how to judge people. Like they teach you places where you do and can't get the beds.
Yeah.
And like literally talk to
I occasionally see them trying to
like,
claim
I'm
that
diving. You're like,
Delaware is
"You
part
are."
of
It's just like they know how to like keep.
Yeah.
You wish.
Like, dude.
I used to dance growing up. One of my old dance instructors was used to be a performer competition.
Is that right?
Yeah, like she would do like the theater shows and stuff. And she enjoyed it, but like she showed me pictures of her room. I was like, no. Like I think I would freak out. Yeah. There were like I don't know if any of you guys have been on cruises before, but the rooms that they give guests are also like small, but they're fine, but they're small. Or at least my experience. Yeah. Not for the performers. Like they're like bunk beds. Like hers was. Don't ask me mine. I have no recollection. But yeah, kind of like all white prisons. Do love a cruise though. Except for all of the viruses happening.
Well, yeah. Yeah. No, my family doesn't always want to do it's like a wide range of ages for seven, so sometimes we'll just like do our own thing. But I don't know. Sometimes I'll do like snorkeling stuff.
Are you a big surfer?
Yeah, I love surfing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, I was gonna say the last time.
Yeah.
The last time you came back, there was a situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love surfing
Be
only
pretty
if
stunned
I'm
if that
like an
happens
instructor
twice.
who can push me into the waves. Because I don't have enough like timing in the upper body strength.
Pretty sure on their way over.
Have you guys surfed? Never?
Never.
Put that on the
I've had
bucket
the
list,
opportunity.
guys.
Yeah.
You can go to Stafford.
But
It's like, where's Evelyn?
You'll
Drowning.
You'll be fine.
You're gonna be going that way.
Just on some floaties. I thought March, that's what we're doing, that's like a Saturday.
That's the full day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First whole half of the morning.
Whoever wins the surfing competition gets a raise. I heard.
A raise and a day off.
That's how it always goes.
That would be a
Did
good
you
prize.
look
I would
something up?
try real hard for a day off.
Those are us who
Leah
are
would
from
win.
Norway.
Well, I don't know. She doesn't surf, but have you heard that Leah is like training for an 8-mile swim, open water swim?
No.
Yeah, isn't that
That's
crazy?
pretty cool.
So insane. She's doing like 5Ks every weekend. Like, yeah. I think you met Leah. She's our legislative director. Sits in the back.
No.
Yeah.
Did you get the message from her about the baseball team?
Oh yeah.
No, I didn't get a message.
I haven't downloaded the app
A
yet.
text message.
Have
I
you?
think
I
she
did
was
just
texting
realize.
it to you.
Oh yes, that was her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're like, who's texting me?
Yeah, I was scared to open it.
Like,
because
it's
it was like
spam.
spam.
Yeah.
No. Okay, that was Leah. So yeah. So I think you should be able to just click on the and then open that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why does it recognize my picture?
Oh.
I was like,
Yeah.
Okay,
Rip.
great. Yeah. I'll get this. She's got her license on.
Jersey is actually like a nice state outside of the turnpike, but that's all anyone interacts with, so.
Yeah, that's me. Following you to German. Well, cheat mode, which I will recommend to you, is you can literally just like tap the screen. Like that. Yeah. See that? Yeah. So like boom, flags. I would just recommend that to you, but you can like this focuses and this
Fireplace
this
too.
is awesome. Yeah.
Just gonna get it off the first one. Just going to Casey and the guy next door.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
Evelyn
we
has shown
picked
the
this up
slightest
pocket.
hint of cost interest,
Not
and
yet.
I'm trying to get that interest to be massively huge.
Yeah. That's great.
I think of the middle sick, we will probably make it a line item in our.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like
sometimes
maybe
forget to
six
clock that, like, I'm like, oh, that literally is my Right.
Yeah.
You did a fantastic job.
Well, it was one of my less confident ones. I felt like I was in front of a lot of people, so I was like kind of nervous.
Totally. And we were far,
Yeah,
but
really far.
it worked out great.
Yeah.
It was chilly over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I built up my courage.
Then you're gonna start pushing people.
What I recommend is look for the staff badge, and then if you see that their staff is at the corner,
Just anywhere. Yeah, this is normally where like
Sleep shirt.
get in front.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, exactly.
It's so nice to have it. Yeah.
And you'll start to recognize other people. And then you'll start to know who they work for, and they'll know who you work for, and then it's like all moving together. Yeah. Yeah.
Has an injury of some kind, and he's in like a mobility scooter.
So still, like,
To the front of the
are
scooter,
you
his
interested in
son
policy,
is dead.
operations, comms, all of it?
0 days.
You don't know yet?
Everything I've done has been comms so far. Even before I even did anything.
I saw him earlier and was so fixated on the scooter and the sign, I missed that it was Neil Dunn.
Oh, that's really
I was
cool.
telling
Yeah,
kids,
it was
she's
fun,
like,
but it was
there's a member going
like
around.
honestly
What
way
with
more
that?
fun
I've seen it.
than
The
here.
girls
It
you
was
saw.
crazy. Like, I
Neil
was like
Dunn.
running back and forth in the mail room. It was very like double but it was fun. It was fun. It was fun. But I like it. I like comms a lot. I like social media. And I don't know yet really what I want to do.
Was
but
Amber in
I have a few years
I
to
know he's been
decide,
in a
so
booth
yeah.
forever.
Oh,
I know
yeah,
he's
no,
definitely
right.
a
Yeah,
pusher.
it's
Yeah.
undecided, like.
Oh, okay.
Stop assistant, and I still don't
Becky
really
Kelly.
know.
Like, really
Follow
fast.
their lunch, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy, but it's true. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I get it.
Yeah.
And I'm going abroad next year, and so I'm gonna see
I missed that one, it's gone.
international policy too.
I shared an elevator chatting a little bit, doors open, and then Amber gets in, and just like, I don't know how, but votes.
So votes,
It's like, there's the three of us, and just like, felt like we were
We
both
rode our
just like
elevator
pushing
up
against
to
the
like
wall.
10, so we're just all squished in.
It wasn't a member.
It's just like, we were there first. We were there for multiple floors before they moved.
I thought it was like his left leg for the longest time.
I was trying to
and then
identify
I saw it
who are these
on
people.
the right leg.
One of Mariku's and Canberra's was the one on
But
the
which is not.
right side, the woman in black.
I paying attention to it, but.
Yeah, I should probably start learning what the map looked like. It's 2026 goal. Yeah.
oh, same.
There is.
There
There
is. Well,
literally
so
is.
to be in the caucus, you have to pass the quiz during the interview. They like give you like a little flash test, like look at this, and then you have to like memorize it.
Wait, that's amazing.
You guys want the picture?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. I was like, figure it out. Like the one with the
Yeah.
pin.
Yeah.
The one
No,
with-
I would love to know.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you.
I saw Bernie Sanders yesterday.
Oh, I've never seen him
I've never seen
before.
either.
Because I was like outside. He was like outside. He was like next to me. I saw him like across the street.
Wow.
But like I saw him and I looked away and I'm like, holy shit, was that Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
I've heard he's
Wow.
tall. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Yeah.
You're also tall, so it's like, is
No,
he
might be
tall
less
compared to
drawing for
you?
you. Yeah.
Like, wow, old man rocking.
Would you say he's about your height?
Yeah. Like,
Wow,
I
that's
mean,
tall.
he was like,
Yeah, picture him like this big.
he was across the street. He was really talented.
I'm like, do you know what his terms of?
And I have like,
I'm petrified he's gonna retire before I ever see him.
2030.
It's 2030?
He just won re-election
Oh,
in
okay,
24.
great.
So,
I can take her back.
yeah, just like, go back to the office, and then we'll see each other for the 4 p.m. It's over Teams, but I'll forward you the stuff.
sounds good.
And then today, okay, there's two things we can do at 5. We can go to this like tech reception kind of thing where they're doing demos that Verizon is hosting, or we can go to the BTQ.
To do what?
Which one do you want to do?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have you stand over there.
It's 100% up to you. But Verizon, they know me. They won't be mad if I don't show up. So think about it.
Putting you on
I'm
the
not
spot.
putting you on
There's
the spot.
like a million eyeballs on
Think
you.
about it. And we can talk more like after 4, after the meeting at 4.
Okay.
And just whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, that's more interesting. Okay. All right.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Yeah, of
Appreciate
course.
you guys. All right. See ya.
Bye. So how are you feeling like navigating everything right now?
I really like it. I like this job a lot.
Good.
And what they do is like the it's
Yeah.
it's like more social stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't need for oversight. Like I'm in my little cube.
Yeah, totally.
See nobody.
Did you also experience that?
Yeah.
With DC versus Orlando?
It's very different.
Yeah.
Actually, I work there once a week. Like every Wednesday. But it was really interesting because the stuff they had me doing was very different.
Yeah, no, I bet.
Yeah. And the event planning with the night market,
Yeah,
stuff like that,
right.
caucus meetings.
Yeah, they were telling me about the night market. This was so fun.
It was great.
It was delicious.
Oh, it
It
was
was delicious.
I mean, that we should do that for every heritage month. It's Caribbean American Heritage Month, guys. Caribbean Night Market.
I agree with this.
Yeah.
And James and I haven't
Yeah.
really met James in person yet though.
Oh,
so-
wait, is this your second day?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you'll get there.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
He's super nice, but he's like when we're in session, he's never in the office.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
He's always like,
Running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's supposed to be in today. He wasn't yesterday, and then I didn't see him. But maybe
He
later.
might just be running around.
Yeah. Oversight's very different. It reminds me a lot more of what I was doing. I was working for Congresswoman Maxine.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
She's great, and the staff there is awesome. But it was like I was doing all
Right
sorts
after
of
this, so.
clips, and like I was
Nurse?
photographing too. They hired. I
Yeah.
haven't been around yet, so I was doing all the
Oh,
paperwork. And
geez.
whenever she would get bored, she would like make me do it. And I remember I would get so scared. I was like, why am I in the front?
No, it's
Yeah.
really
I'm 12
yeah.
years old. Like, why are they getting me? But it was so fun. And I really very like how do I say it? Like, digitized like structure. Like you don't get to like read as many articles and there's no like learning. It's all kind of just like just more like coding.
So,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's very interesting.
got all
Cause
the
they have everything. That
nursery
office is
stuff
so
in.
organized. Like it feels like
It is not
like
assembled
with
yet,
no
but it is
disrespect to
in the room.
it feels kind of like science.
Yes,
And
yes,
those
it's
views
physically
and
impressive.
everything.
We're
But
painting
it's a
this
very
weekend.
corporate
Like everyone has their lane, everyone,
yes,
yeah.
yes. But the other intern and I are actually
Yes. Sorry.
So we use this thing called Otter, and it's basically, I see videos all the time. I don't really know how it works. Basically, it's a type of software that helps transcribe.
No, it's flying with birth day. Or not flying, live transcribe. Full day. Which conferences? Because we are flying it.
Always.
But not always. It's basically just a sort of weekly.
Yeah, or 2 weekends.
Makes
Week of, I actually.
so helpful for Ocean
Read that we check out. So we use Otter. Test 1, 2. Okay. As you can see, it's not always the most accurate. Sometimes it has really good days and it's like almost perfect, and then other days there's a lot of manually entering to use this.
My mom will Instagram DM them to me like, "Did you make this?" I'm like, "Mom, I make everything." Yeah.
So basically all I'm doing is
my dad was
so
when I got
strong.
myself
It's
pizza and
like hurting my mouth.
stuff.
So basically and sometimes we'll have guests when people come to deliver. We have like longer memories. This day is fine. Started on the set because we're local to them. But today, it's been like horrible.
Behind me, and I can hear the planes.
That is such
And then it looks really big. We really
Oh,
is it just like, did you come here with like a suitcase kind of vibe, or is it like
suitcase and that.
okay, that's how I moved to AC too, and then I just like never left. So I have so much stuff at home with my parents on in California because I never moved back. But I also just filled my lap of things here by buying things. So I have just like so much stuff.
Yeah, no, that's how it is in my school. Like I go to school.
if you want to go hang out back there, sorry. I just wanted to explain what I'm doing just so I'm not like just
Like I sit by
corner.
why like what am I supposed to do?
My brother did as well. He's going to be a senior in college next year, and he's going to Ohio State. And obviously, I'm from California, so he just put it all in the storage unit, and then took the airplane back. Yeah.
No, you go.
The UCLA when we were moving out last quarter.
No.
I was like through
I got
quarters and I had so much stuff.
kind of like
And
changed.
so I like I mailed stuff back.
Signed up.
Yeah.
Because like I wasn't gonna be there until
Heads up.
September.
Good afternoon. First, I want to congratulate all the Democratic candidates who won last night. We're now one step closer to taking back the majority. And Democrats are going to win big in November because we're laser focused on issues that the American public cares about. From bringing down the high cost of living to improving access to quality, affordable health care and protecting our fundamental freedoms, Americans know who has their interests at heart, and they know this Republican majority does not. For over a year, Donald Trump and House Republicans have consistently disregarded the needs of hardworking families. In the Trump economy, families are struggling to afford groceries, gas, and health care. But rather than using their powers to help people, what they've decided to do is just this week offer $70 billion, a blank check for ICE, while gutting health care and food assistance programs and refusing to end costly conflict with Iran. And instead of lowering costs for Americans, Trump single-handedly is dividing his own party through his retribution campaign. He's nominating unqualified yes man to be his intelligence community chief, and he's making America's 250th birthday entirely about himself. The American people are paying attention, and they know what is happening, and they know this is not what they voted for. They voted to lower costs, and what they got was higher costs and chaos. People are working harder just to stay afloat while they watch Trump and his inner circle continue to enrich himself through backroom deals and stock trading and no-bid government contracts. Americans are ready to put an end to the Trump and Republican corruption, and Democrats are stepping in. Democrats believe Americans' hardworking tax dollars should go to making people's lives better, not just to enrich Trump and his family. We'll keep fighting to ensure that that happens. Vice Chair Ted Lieu.
Thank you, Chairman Aguilar. I want to thank the White House for repeatedly putting the National Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett, on TV, because Kevin Hassett is really helping Democrats with our messaging. This is what Director Hassett recently said on national TV. Quote, "People are spending more on gas, but they're also spending more on everything else, not just groceries, but restaurants and so on." Kevin Hassett, you're exactly right. People are spending more because guess what? Inflation is up. Inflation is higher now than it was when Trump took office last year. Grocery prices are up, gas prices are up, consumer products are up. And what is Trump focused on? Putting his face on a $250 bill, putting his face on U.S. passports, and putting his name on airports. We ask Republicans and the Trump administration to do what the American people want, which is to lower costs. Now, I want to talk about another issue, which is the United States Supreme Court. There's this case in Alabama where the legislature has proposed a map that a panel of 3 federal appellate judges who are conservative put an injunction on. 2 of these federal appellate judges were appointed by Trump himself. One was initially appointed by Ronald Reagan. And they said that this map was based on intentional racial discrimination. The Supreme Court recently lifted an injunction on that map and is allowing this racist map to go into force in Alabama for this year's election. That is unconscionable, and it shows that the current Supreme Court is out of control, out of touch with the American people, and acting in a purely partisan manner. This is the most corrupt Supreme Court we've seen in our history, and reform is going to come next year.
Questions? Michael.
Mr. Chair, I just came over from the Senate where they're taking a procedural vote to move forward on the reconciliation bill over there. They dropped the ballroom funding, and Todd Blanche yesterday said that they won't move forward with the so-called weaponization fund. Those 2 issues have been very central to some of your criticisms about the bill outside of the underlying $70 billion for ICE and CBP. I'm wondering if the bill comes over to the House, which there's a long way to go, but if the bill comes over to the House and the ballroom funding isn't in the bill and the kind of weaponization fund is not a part of the conversation either, what's your message to the American people about the opposition the House Democrats still have with the second reconciliation bill that Republicans are trying to put forward?
Our opposition has always been based about the substance, giving a $70 billion blank check to ICE, who has a history of brutalizing and terrorizing communities, killing U.S. citizens, is not what we should be doing. Those agencies need accountability and oversight. We should not be giving them more resources without also conditioning accountability. That was the basis behind our opposition before, and it'll continue to be the basis of our opposition. Now, what Senate Republicans did was they tried to pull one over on the American people and add in some language here and some language there that were incredibly, even objectionable to Senate Republicans, which is a stretch. But that's the only reason why they're pulling back now, is they've divided Republicans on these issues, and those issues have zero support among the American people. So we're going to continue to talk about this, especially the weaponization fund, because all of the language that they have put out still leaves them quite a bit of flexibility. to move forward with this. Maybe after June 11th, when the judge indicated that they couldn't do anything to. So that's the going to continue to be our objection, and I think that even some Senate Republicans still have some objections, but we'll see how the afternoon goes. Max?
We saw New York City Mayor Mondani endorse against the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, Congressman Espaillat, the other day. As a member of the Hispanic Caucus, what's your reaction to this? And do you think the mayor is making the wrong political calculation here?
Oh, look, I can't speak to the mayor's political calculus here. That's not my job. What I can speak to is the job that Adriano Espaillat does on behalf of leading the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, as well as a member here in Congress. This is someone who has continually and consistently fought ICE in New York and has been incredibly public about visitations and pushing back on the detention facilities that they have and ensuring that communities have voices. He's a great member, a valued asset to the Democratic caucus, and I'm confident that he's going to win. That's what we're focused on, and I can't speak to what the mayor's political calculus is. But if it's focused on effectiveness and serving your constituents, then Adriano's doing the work. Andrew?
You plan to vote on Rashida Tlaib's Lebanon War Powers resolution. I guess what is Democratic leadership's position on that more broadly?
Continue to have discussions. I'm not sure that it's been called for a vote. Right now, I think that there's still some uncertainty as to when that will come up for a vote. There's been discussion about making some changes. So I think the first threshold question is, like, what are we voting on? Are we voting on what was kind of populated and the language that was out there, or are there some changes to the language? The language that she put out was based on a earlier resolution that she offered, which is another set. So once we have final text and we know when the vote is going to happen, then I'll have something to share, and I think members will be more open about their thoughts on the resolution. But we'll see what happens. Nick?
I want to ask about this reported ethics investigation into Congressman Jimmy Gomez. Have either of you had the chance to talk to your fellow Californian about it? And is this the kind of behavior that you find acceptable in the caucus?
I read the article like everybody else did, and I think he's indicated that he's going to be forthcoming with the ethics committee. We have said that ethics should have the resources that they need to do the job, and that means investigating and providing oversight to members. I genuinely believe that if there's something there for ethics to investigate, then they should have the resources to do it, and they should have the resources to do it in an effective way and in a way that meets some time thresholds. He's been very honest, according to the statement. He's been very honest about challenges that he's going through on the personal side, and I'll leave that between him and his family to work through.
I have a question for Vice Chair Lieu.
Perfect. These are my favorite questions, and all of you should take note.
Thank you. This is as AI Task Force co-chair. Do you think that President Trump's executive order on AI goes far enough? I guess would be the first one. And then a follow-up is, how should the United States be working on AI to protect ourselves from AI threats in cybersecurity?
I do not think the executive order goes far enough. I don't think a voluntary system does very much. I think we need to have federal legislation. And unfortunately, their entire strategy of the White House and of House Republican leadership has been to suppress legislation at the federal level, suppress legislation at the state level, and let the AI industry run wild. And that has caused a massive backlash from the American public. The American people are just asking for reasonable guardrails, and that's why Democratic leader Jeffries created the AI Commission to put forth a framework for when Democrats take control next year, what we would do.
Are you concerned about how long that might take? Do you think that it might be too out of control by next year?
Right.
It's moving so fast.
Well, that's why we have states that are passing laws and have been passing laws. And until Congress is able to act, you're going to have states do this in the meantime.
Are you or any of your members meeting with Mr. Altman? I know he's on the Hill this week.
I will be meeting with him later today.
Just wondering what kind of involvement
conference on the Republican side, to kind of form a task force to investigate how sexual harassment is reported here in the House. How involved is leadership with this?
I knew Leader Jeffries had a number of discussions with Teresa Leger Fernandez and Teresa and I think Kat Kamek are kind of leading that kind of working group. Based on what I've read, they have both been empowered by Speaker Johnson and Leader Jeffries to engage in conversations. We'll see what the products of those are. I have not had a readout of what the byproduct has been or any timetables. They would be in a better position to talk about that, but I think this is something that as a whole, the Democratic caucus and the leadership team supports, and that type of member-led involvement to decide what thresholds and what resources are necessary to get to the oversight and accountability that the committee is charged with seems reasonable to us. Thank you Max.
You saw the governor's results last night in your home state. Looks like Javier Becerra is going to advance. Are you going to endorse him for governor?
Yeah, Javier will be I voted for Javier. He'll be the Democratic nominee. I'm sure as a delegation we'll do something to continue to support his efforts. And up and down the state, our candidates and ourselves included are going to be on a ballot with him. So we're invested in his success. We wish him well. He's somebody who we all know, and when the vice chair and I came to Congress, he was in this position and a leader here in Congress, and obviously went on to do state work as AG and Secretary of HHS. A great individual who's going to do a good job, and we'll be more public about what that looks like as a delegation. Andrew, last one.
Yeah, there's the potential for a lockout in California's 6th district with Kevin Kiley, who's now an independent, in first, and potentially a Republican in second. If that's the case, I'm wondering how the Democratic caucus might approach that situation, especially given that that's effectively a Democratic-leaning district now.
It's not going to happen.
I'm
confident it's not going to happen. A Democrat's going to get into the top two there. Is the only person I think under this dome who has seen this firsthand. I've got some experience being locked out of and having two Republicans advance in a Democratic seat before your all time. But take a look at 2012, Pete Aguilar. But Pete Aguilar 1.0 as the staff calls it. And so I'm confident that Dr. Pan will get into the top two, and he'll have the support of the Democratic caucus as soon as the ballots are counted. And I know that's frustrating for some Republicans who don't believe in vote by mail, and they don't believe in everybody having an opportunity to exercise their right to vote. It takes some of these counties a little longer than others, and a little longer than we would like. But as long as they get a free and fair opportunity and get the count right, that's the only thing that matters. And so I'm confident Dr. Pan will get in the top two.
Sorry to belabor this. You said you kind of referenced it there. Do you think it's time for California to make changes about how it counts votes?
I think that the federal government can play a role and offer more resources to counties, obviously, to help. I think that each counties have different processes and rules, and I think the state needs to play a role in kind of consolidating some of those timelines and thresholds. But ultimately, fundamentally, it just comes down to a volume thing. I mean, every voter gets a mail ballot, and many of the voters, my household included, voted in the last 72 hours by mail, putting it in a drop box. And so sometimes, when the votes come all at the very end like that, it's going to take professionals a little longer to count. But I think that it's reasonable to have those conversations, and we'll abide by whatever the rules the voters put into statute or the state legislature deems is appropriate, working with county officials. Thank you, guys.